So welcome to the September 2025 Branch Development Committee Peer Group Meeting. We're excited to see you all here. Peer group meetings are a program for branch leaders, including presidents, president-elect, program chairs, membership chairs, nominating committee members, and others who are interested. I'm Sigrid Morans, AEW California Co-Director of Branch Development for Leadership Development, and my partner here is Becky Gomez, AEW California Co-Director for Membership. We welcome all of you to tonight's session, and I want to extend a special welcome to our guest, Diane Owens, AAUW National Board Chair, and Sharman Goring, AAUW California President, who's joining us tonight. So we should remove me from the spotlight. And where did you go, Diane? There you are. Okay.
You have a lot of people.
Diane, you want to have a few words for the group?
Yes, very few, very few. Just hi, everybody. I recognize a lot of names. That's kind of fun. But I asked Sigrid if I could join tonight because I wanted to hear from, kind of what's happening in California with all the branches. And I'll tell you why. You know that National we have a new strategic plan. And the other thing that we're doing is we're trying to align all of the branches. So we're calling it branch alignment. So we've started already, and that was when we did our branch survey. And I want to thank all of you in California for filling out your branch survey. Last time I counted, we had 87 branches that filled out the branch survey, and that's really, really great. And you know what was really interesting is that a lot of branches filled out the branch survey, but they didn't get any stars. And I want to especially recognize them because they did what we asked them to do. We asked them to tell us what's happening in their branches so that we could look at the results and decide what resources, what help, what we needed to do at National. So I want to thank everybody from California for filling those out, whether you got a star or not. I mean, it was great. We really appreciated that. So those are the things that we're working on at National, among many other things, of course. It's a difficult time in Washington right now with everything that's happening, but we're committed to just staying the course and doing what we can do and helping our fellows and helping everybody that's working on whatever. So thank you for letting me join you tonight. And I'm just going to be in the background, just listening and learning what's happening in California. So thank you for inviting me. Well, I invited myself, but thank you for
We
allowing
would
me.
have invited you. Thank you, Diane. And Sharman, would you like to say a couple of words? Let's spotlight you.
Sure, I don't want to take up too much of your time with your important things tonight, but to piggyback on Diane, I just wanted to congratulate those branches that did receive stars. And I actually counted up of the 87 who filled out the survey, 77 got at least 1 star. So only 10 branches didn't get any. And out of 108 branches, that's a darn good percentage that we had in California. So our goal is to make it to 100% participation, at least in the survey, but hopefully the stars as well. We have Donna on who's going to be talking about some ways to do that. And just, we have some good testimony that working towards the stars helps to align your branch and can help reinvigorate your branch and help you with recruiting and retention and all kinds of things to help your branch become sustainable. And I also want to encourage, this is our 3rd year of doing peer groups. And I want to really encourage you to attend any of the peer groups. You don't have to just go to the branch support one. If you're a membership or leadership person, you can go to the Tech Trek ones. You can go to the finance ones if you want to. You can go to public policy. We want as many members to attend as possible so we can get the information out and then have you get the information out to your branches. So you're not only limited to just this one. They're all being listed in the they'll be in the B2B, but they'll also be on the website if you need the other nights when other branch peer group meetings are happening or peer group meetings. And so feel free to attend any of the meetings, not just this one. So thank you. I'm going to be in the background listening too and eating some dinner. So thank you, Sigrid.
Thanks, Sharman. Okay. So first, we have a couple of announcements. We have an addition to the branch development team this year. Welcome Donna Holmes. She's the Director for Strategic Plan and 5-Star Award Consultant. Our October meeting will feature Donna discussing the new strategic plan and the 2026 5-Star Award Program. So be sure to register and join us, and that's on October 14th. Donna is also a wonderful resource. She is the hub expert. So if you ever send in any questions to the office or Julica, and it's about how do I manage the hub and what issues are we running up against, you'll hear from Donna, because she's the one who knows everything there is to know about the hub. Okay. We also have,
Oh my God, don't oversell me.
how am I going to get 60 people to come if I don't? Also have a new, not new, but back again as a director, Sharon Siebert, and she's going to be leading the financial strategy team. And joining her as committee members are Sharice Sorokin, Carol Holzgraf, Sandy Gabe, Juliana Goswick, Peggy Cabanas. So welcome to all of them. They have a huge job ahead plowing new fields for looking for ways to raise money for AUW California. So tonight we're going to review for you the updated branch support webpage and all of its contents, the AUW California calendar and how to access it, and a new icon on our page, Volunteers First, with some ideas on how to implement this program in your branches. So thank you to everyone for participating this evening. When you sign off tonight, you'll be directed to a quick survey, which we hope you'll complete. It's only 10 questions. They're pretty much check the box. This helps us understand your needs and evaluates our presentations. So we're going to ask you to mute yourself during the presentation, but you can put any questions you have in the chat box and we'll answer them at the end. And then, of course, this session is being recorded for archival purposes, and it'll be available in a few days on the AUW California website under branch support peer groups. Go down to branch development and you'll see a link to all of our recordings. So if you've missed any past meetings, you can go there to watch that. We'll be putting our website in the chat, and it has our schedule as well as links to the past month's recordings. So I'm going to highlight Sharon now, and she's going to start our tour of the Branch Tools webpage. Thanks, Sharon.
Hi, everybody. I'm really glad that you're here, and this is going to be a little bit of a GPS tour of the website. There's so much information on here, and many of the questions that we get at the state level, whether our office or emails, can be answered by looking at some specific place on the state website. I want to point out to you that all of these large lettered items are really designed for external information for people that are not necessarily AAUW leadership. The words in small letters are all internal. And one we're going to be talking about mostly today is branch tools. So I'm going to highlight that.
Sharon, are you sharing that? Because we don't see it yet.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I was. Okay. Where was I? Excuse me a minute. My brain wasn't connected to my share. So let me share the website now. Okay. So let's go back to
All right.
this again.
And can you make it a little bit bigger for people?
It's
little box
covering
up in the corner.
my whole
Here.
screen. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
Is
Go
it?
ahead.
Can you see it all now?
It's a little bit smaller, but if you can't make it any bigger,
I don't think I can make it any bigger.
the little squares up in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, people can adjust their own screens, so
Yeah.
that might be the
Okay.
issue.
I mean,
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. My technology skills keep needing refreshment. and updating. So as I said, the small letters up at the top are designed for all of us in AAUW, especially leaders. These larger letters are designed for those of you pointing someone out from the public to Tech Track or public policy or something like that. So we're going to talk primarily about branch tools. So I'm going to scroll down because there are, I didn't count them today, but I think there's about 12 or 13 of these lovely, beautiful boxes. And every one of them is a direct link. If you click on any of them, and here I'll just click on the California peer groups, this is where you will find the information on all the peer groups, as you see. And if you click on branch development, it takes us to all of the information that Sigrid just commented about, the YouTube video playlist of all our past peer group meetings. So going back to the branch tools section, I want to point out a couple of things. If you have people who are asking you about something that you're not aware of and you don't know which box to click, the communications team did a really robust job of putting in buzzwords and common keywords that we all in AAUW use. You go up to this little magnifying glass and you click on that. And if you need an insurance certificate and you put in insurance, it will help you get to the right place on the website. You don't have to be a rocket scientist and you don't have to remember everything. It's all here for you. Couple of other things that I wanted to point out, that when you send a letter, an email into the office at Ask Us First, our office manager, Julika Barrett, who's absolutely wonderful for those of you who have never interacted with her, she will direct your question to the appropriate person on the state board. In addition to that, as I mentioned, the magnifying glass will help you search, and it will also help you search for webinars that were done in past years, because we've done a lot of them since we went to Zoom on during COVID. You can search up here with the magnifying glass to find yourself the correct section or the correct webinar that covers the need that you are looking for. Finally, of course, we have branch support, and the branch, it's covered under a variety of topics. As you can see, this has branch, and branch in the words. So you kind of have to figure out, okay, is it going to be finance or governance having to do with bylaws and so forth? But you will be able to find the huge amount of information here. And obviously, you can also still reach out to any of us on the state website or on the state board, because we're here for you. That's what we do. I do want to point out the one really important box, the public policy box, because they put out their own newsletter. I don't know how many of you get the newsletter, and you can get it on via this section. They cover the bill tracking, all the bills that we are supporting, and their newsletters are absolutely chock full of information. And I highly recommend that even if you are not the public policy chair, that you get into this section. These are the all new priorities for this year. These were voted on by the members. So this is the current public policy priorities. The postcards are available by ordering them from our AAUW office. So I hope this helps you with your little GPS tour of the website. As you can see, there's more information than any one person actually needs. And now I'm going to turn this over to Peggy Shipkin, who is the guru of Volunteers First. So
Sharon, can you
Peggy.
stop sharing your screen?
yes, I'm going to stop
Oh,
doing
can
that.
she keep it up and
Oh,
keep,
sure, I
Yeah,
could keep
so
it
you
up,
can
so
be
let
my
me go
right
back.
hand? Yeah, be great.
I'll go
First of
back, and I
all,
did that.
I want to thank Sharon for being here. Sharon is, I understand she's had a real bad cold. So not to disclose any private information here, but she has, it's a yeoman's effort for her to be here tonight. So thank you, Sharon. I really appreciate it. And I know everybody else does too, because only you can really do this tour for us. Sharon, could you click on the Volunteers First logo? Because if you want to learn about Volunteers First, you just have to click on that logo right there
Okay,
on the top right.
yes, I just got back to someplace else.
Oh dear. Okay, so this is Volunteers First, and our Volunteers First is a program that we've been working on for a couple of years. It's a program, awareness program for leaders for member engagement. And it's designed specifically for AAUWs and their members, and specifically for leaders of volunteers. It's based on worldwide research, and its focus is to build and facilitate relationships by doing specific things, caring, connecting, supporting, and recognizing. So that is kind of the gist of it, the program in a nutshell. It is not a checkbox. It is not like the 5-star program. The 5-star program can be made to work. This really goes with supporting the 5-star program and getting it to work. Sharon, I'll just have you go back to the top there. So we're hoping we're gonna have discussions this year in our peer groups about Volunteers First, but it's hard to discuss if members who are interested don't first see these videos. So we're asking you to take 35 minutes to see part 1 and another 35 minutes to see part 2. We'll discuss the topics in part 1 in our first peer group, and then later on we'll discuss part 2. So you don't have to listen to those videos all at once, but they're, like I said, it's not a checklist. It's an awareness program, and you really do have to dedicate 35 minutes to kind of getting the basics of how leaders can be. It's been proven that there's a way of being for our leaders that will increase retention, engagement, and set the path for leadership. Thanks to Sandy Gabe, we for those who would like to participate in Volunteers First, you don't have to decide when you want to do this or if you ever want to do it. It's all volunteer. But if you should decide you want to do Volunteers First, we're trying to measure the success of this program to see if what we anticipate is going to be a positive result, will actually be a positive result for people who try to work on it. So that's the baseline survey. If you want to do that, you just get in there and click and fill out the boxes, and you'll get a receipt back in your email, and I will keep track of it. In a year from now, we'll send you another survey, and we'll see what kind of progress has been made. Like I said, it's optional, it's not mandatory. So if you want to change the Volunteers First logo to for your own branch, there's a section there called logos where you can fiddle around with the Volunteers First logo and change it to your branch. If you want to go back a year and listen to Barry Altman talk about the book in which Volunteers First is based on, Engaging the Head, Heart, and Hands of Volunteers. The videos are there. In addition to the videos, there are the slide deck, there is the narrative of the videos, and there's some handouts for each videos. Once again, if you find them helpful, we've put them in there for your use, but it's not mandatory. It's all for you to look at. So we're excited to get going with this. I already have San Fernando Valley, and I'm available to come to branches by Zoom and give a little dog and pony show, so to speak, and talk to branches more individually. So we invite you to look at that and to contact me if you have any questions about the program. Thank you.
Thanks, Peggy. Perhaps, Bev, can you talk a little bit about how you rolled this out in your branch?
Well, because we were so busy with, I think I mentioned this at one of our last meetings, what I did is I did a video. I attended all of the workshops that Barry did. And so what I did is I designed it just to fit Glendale community. And I made it for our branch members and made it easy. So I did a 16-minute video for them. So we're still going to play. I mean, this whole thing that I think Peggy talked about, it's still, it's still in the working stages. So it's really exciting, the information we can get. And so it's so brand new. Every time we do it, I guess, Peggy, hey, we're learning as we're going because it's such an exciting and excellent program.
It's a different way of thinking and being. It just sort of flips things a little bit. But once you get going on it, it's really fun. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you both. Okay, it's time to hear from Becky, and she's going to talk about a few other things on the Branch Tools page. So Becky, you're the person.
Righty.
Where did you go? All right.
Okay, hopefully you're able to see that.
Not yet. Now, there we go.
There it goes. Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here tonight on a very warm evening. I'm going to go over some of the different things in the Branch Tools, kind of pick up where Sharon left off. So I'm just going to start from, our main page here and go to Branch Tools. And you've already seen this like 5 times already, right, tonight? But what I wanted to point out, and Sharon made a point of saying, the small letters up here for internal and the outside is external. So one of the things that are really important is the calendar, and you can get the calendar from the small thing, and you can see the calendar in more of a traditional calendar format, and you can see the different programs that are being offered. Part of the reason we're emphasizing the calendar is that we want to be sure that you don't schedule things like your fundraising events or anything like that that will conflict with other state events. We had last year, what happened is we had several branches had scheduled a fundraiser on the day of the annual event. So just a heads up, please take a look at that before you do any scheduling. So the other thing I want to show you kind of as a companion to that calendar is key dates. So again, important for planning activities, and you can see it. This is not the traditional calendar, but more of a linear listing with dates and information. And then you also have to the right of that, the upcoming events. So again, you can take a look at when meetings are happening and information about registering and that kind of thing. So take a look at that, start plugging in things that you want to attend into your calendar and then register. So that will be really important. So we'll swing back to Branch Tools. Forms and templates. This will be, again, some calendar of holidays and observances. This is slightly different, but it will help you as you plan for your upcoming events. It will show religious and government holidays or other kinds of observances like Earth Day or Juneteenth, where you might want to avoid scheduling meetings. Our branch meets on the first Wednesday, and we've already run into two Jewish holidays, so we had to reschedule those. But I will just show you what this looks like. So you'll see a lot of these dates here. But what I particularly wanted to show you, because this is just kind of fun and something maybe you want to do in your branches. Some of my favorites: National Girls and Women in Sports Day, National No Housework Day. Come on, let's give cheers to that. I'm not a grandma yet, but National Gorgeous Grandma Day. Come on. National No Bra Day. That's another favorite. And that's in relation to breast cancer awareness. So check out the list and have some fun with it. So when you have your branch meetings, you can say, hey, did you know it was National Friendship Day? Or, get some cheers with National No Housework Day. So again, have some fun with that. I don't know who compiled that list, but kudos to them for doing that. Some of the other things that you will see in the forms and templates, we get asked this question a lot, and that is about recruitment flyers. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. There are some things that are here that you can download and then just plug in your branch and the person's contact information. This is some things if you're going out and doing some outreach with maybe your Chamber of Commerce or some other group. If you don't have anything, don't reinvent the wheel. These are just some opportunities for you to get your name out. But it's very generic, but at least it's something if you haven't designed anything in particular. One of the other things, the expense voucher photo release, again, if you're having people, say Tech Track students or whatever, you want to make sure you get photo releases before you put them on your website or in your newsletter and that kind of thing. So again, you're not going to remember this, but just remember that there's some place to look for these forms. Sharon mentioned the search tool. But this is probably the second most requested thing that we get is, how do I get a certificate of insurance form? So this request is right here. You just click on that. It's a one-page document that we have to send to our insurance carrier, and you can get any questions answered as well. And then social media guidelines. We often get requests on that, or it's just something for you to know that it's there to communicate with your webmaster for your particular newsletter or your website. So the branch officer report, we often hear the BOR, and I think what we need to do is probably fix some of these. So we use the acronym because that's what we refer to it as. We don't usually say the branch officer report. And since the president is required to do this only once a year, you're going to likely forget, and there are often changes throughout the year. So if you do have changes throughout the year, this is where you notify the state. You'll do that. And it's really important to keep those. If somebody resigns in the middle of the year and you have to reappoint someone, somebody gets sick and can't continue, those kinds of things, that happens. That's just life. So notify the state office so they can correct it. You can't correct it. Unfortunately, it has to go through the state office, but be sure to have the correct spelling, the title, and the contact information. Because again, it's used to send out emails and information to the correct officer. So it's important to keep that information accurate. So let's go to the most important thing, which is membership resources. So one of the things, again, that we get asked a lot is, I forgot when I'm updating my membership application, if you still use a paper one, what are the dues? So you can go here and you can get the information, and it's got a nice little chart. And of course I went to the wrong thing. Okay. But this is a piece where you can go and you can take a look at maybe doing your 2-minute pitch. You know, why is this, why should your state support AAUW? And then it gives some information about the organization to develop your 2-minute pitch. Again, when you're maybe out in the community or doing something, or you're trying to recruit members. So this is going to be your new best friend here. This this membership. So the due schedule, that's what I was going to. The due schedule, that's what I was looking for. I got ahead of myself. So the due schedule, and then it will tell you, because again, there's been some changes. So they put the effective dates, which are now effective because it's after July 1. Don't forget about Shape the Future when you sign up new members at public events. This also talks a little bit about student and university partnerships, which I think someone else is going to cover. So I'm not gonna do that now. Go back to branch tools. Back to the membership resources. This is your new best friend, the membership toolkit. It provides an outline here of what's included. And then you can go here to open the document. And then it's a little bit more thorough. And I will tell you that I've looked through this, and there's probably some updates and things that we can do. And this will be revised throughout the year to make sure we're meeting the needs of the branches. And just as a reminder, even though you are representing as your membership chair, it's everyone's responsibility in your branch to help recruit, engage, and retain members. And then throughout the year, we'll share some recruitment and engagement strategies. So again, our intent here was just to give you a taste of what's out there. And then I'm going to kick it back to Sigrid, and then she's going to have some other folks present as well.
Thanks, Becky. Great. Okay. Can I get my thing up here? Okay, so we want to do why that's this. Okay. Okay, can everybody see the screen again?
Yes.
Okay, great. Go back to branch tools. And so we've covered quite a few of these things, but there's a couple more that we need to focus on here. So let's go down here. Leadership resources. There are quite a few things from the past that are still very useful. Glossary of terms, you know, if you're new to your role in the branch and people start throwing all these acronyms around, you probably want to know what that means. There's also an extensive leadership toolkit. Board members' rights and responsibilities. That would be a good one to go over with your new board. what is their responsibility as a board member? And then some of the even, some that are even older, but they're all still relevant to what we want to cover, as leaders. So let's also look at a couple of programs. Branch Activity of the Year. This is our annual program. Submission begins in January, but we want you to keep track of all of your programs and submit the ones that you think are memorable and share with all the other branches in California. So here you can see the winners. This is the 2025 winners. This is 2024. We'll be posting the new criteria probably in December so that you can get your information together. And when you look at these winners, you can see their videos of the first, second, and third place winners. This is also a list of all of the submissions. And this is a great list to go to if you're looking for ideas for programs for your branch, because these are really original things. And even though you can't probably use the same people, but the concept is there and the structure is there. And you see which branch it was from. If you have any questions, you can go to that and look at the list. And this list is from 2025, but if you go to back to the list of the other years, get the same information for previous years. So it's a very interesting place to get great ideas for new programs. And our person that's in charge of that is Patricia Souza, and you're going to be hearing more from her as we get closer to the time for submitting. The award is made at the annual meeting in April, and we ask our winners to make a videotape and share with us their great ideas. So that's the Branch Activity of the Year award. Some other areas that we want to look at are Leader on Loan. And Leader on Loan is a program where we will help find a speaker or someone to lead a discussion either for your board meeting or for your branch meeting. And that can be in person if the person is regionally located near you, or more likely on a Zoom. It is not rent a president or borrow a treasurer.
Mhm.
It's access to people who have experience with the things that you're most interested in. Fee Dye, our committee member, is in charge of this, and she'll be featured on another one of our Zoom meetings later this year. But we're off to a great start. I did one this week for the Westminster, Fountain Valley, Huntington Beach branch, met with their board members. And amazingly, all of you are here representing your branches, but of the 106 branches, not that many know all about the branch tools and all the things that state can do for you to help support your branch. So we want to emphasize that if you want somebody from AUW California or from another branch to come and work with your branch on a particular topic, we're here to help you and we'd love to do it. So you just print a copy of the guidelines, follow the instructions, coordinate the event, hold the event, and then a little bit of follow-up so we can track how effective we've been in that area. Okay, let's go back to branch tools. And Sharon did you talk about Ask Us First, Sharon? No, you're muted, so I'm going to take that as a no. So if you don't know where anything is, okay,
a little bit.
Okay, this is where you send your questions that you can't figure out who needs to know, help you. So There's also the branch marketplace. If you're looking for recognition for branch members, and we talked about this at the branch I met this week, membership pins. There's all kinds of things here for different years of recognition, whether it's 5-year, 10-year, what have you. There's also the AEW California pin. And this is where you go to actually order these materials. So let's go back to Marketplace here. Also, if you would like to order a past president's pin, that's a nice gift for an outgoing president. Here are the milestone pins, and these are brought to you by branches. This is one of their fundraising events. So Redlands does the milestone, Napa does the president's pin. Benicia Vallejo has a recipe book. So if you have something that your branch likes, you can post it there. Let's go back here. Branch finance, that's for finance directors and treasurers in branches, but we put a link here so that they can get to it easily. Branch and IBC governance, IBCs and branch bylaws. You know, this is a good place to look for help on that. This is also where we have our branch merger and disbandment program that the branch support works with those branches that are struggling and need to reformat. Okay. And then we have the diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that takes you to the work page for these people. This is their new strategic plan for 24 through 27. This is a presentation that we did at the annual meeting. And these are some of the things that you can access if you want to do a presentation in your branch on DEI. Okay. And also, if you're doing fundraising, be sure that you follow these guidelines. Check this out. So there's some ideas. There's a financial overview, how to work with SPF if you're working with a tech track, and then donor acknowledgements. And there's quite a few guidelines there for what you need to do when you're doing fundraising and how to handle donors. Okay. And then, as Sharon said, the public policy. Also, college and university partnership program. This is technically a national program, but we decided that we needed to have some support at the state level. So Susan Ballengasser is our representative, and she works with National and now NASPA on the events like Nick Whistle, but also on creating partnerships with the college and universities in your area. If you want to create a partnership or have them become a member partner school, there's guidelines for that. There's work here for branch chairs who are going to be working with college and university. There's guidelines here for campus representatives. And this is how to welcome some college students and grad students into membership in AAUW. So there's a great deal of information here, and Susan will be presenting at a peer group meeting later this year, focused solely on the college university relationship and student members. Okay. So I think we've covered everything. I'm going to stop sharing here. And we asked people to put questions in the chat. And let's see if we, okay.
Sigrid, this is Becky. I haven't seen any questions.
Yeah, I haven't
in the
either.
chat, but I don't know if there's any questions from anyone, if you want to raise your hand or put them in the chat.
Yeah, you can take yourself off mute, and if you know how to use your little raise the hand icon at the bottom where you raise your hand, and then we can see you. Then you pop to the top of the screen because we do have 42 people on here, and we can't always see that you've raised your hand. So Sharman put a note into the chat. The JABID checklist and equity lens on the DEI page are great tools to use when planning events, to consider all people who might be attending and what their needs might be. Steps to being the most welcoming, equitable branch than you can be. That's a great idea when you're planning your branch events. Okay. Anyone else have any questions, comments? No?
I can't believe we answered all the questions that everybody. No way.
I would just like to comment that I think it's delightful that all of you have shown up. The fact
Yeah.
that we have over 100 branches and we only have about half of those branches with leaders who have shown up really shows how much you guys are all invested. And I wonder what's going on with the rest of them.
We have a question from Francis Cole Boyd. Francis, you want to unmute yourself? And
Yeah, sorry. And I was putting it in the chat too. Where was the fun list of dates? I couldn't find that. Or can you put the link in the chat?
the holidays?
Yes. I'll put it in the chat. I'll find it.
Thank
I'll
you.
put it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for doing this.
You're more than welcome. So we have Glabe Siegfried. Hi, I'm the new membership person for my chapter. Thanks for this presentation. I had no idea there was so much material. And that's the issue, is you don't know. And we turn over our leaders every year and new people come on. So we feel like we have to do this refresher every September for new people and also to remind everyone else where these resources are located. Jane Hansen, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Sigrid. Yeah, no, this is absolutely time well spent for me. You guys have a lot of information out there. I was particularly interested in the Leader on Loan program. How much notice do you need to do a Zoom presentation for, say, our board of directors?
A month would be ideal. Just because we're looking at scheduling and your board meeting might conflict with some other commitment we have.
And what about what about topics? Do you have like a list, like your top 5 list of topic
No, but we
areas?
could develop it. I'm going to ask Fee to do that based on our past requests. Generally, the most popular one is, how do I get more members?
Member recruitment.
Everybody wants to know if we have that magic wand we can wave over the city we live in to make sure we get more members. But it's all tied together. When we talk about the strategic plan and the 5-star program next month, you'll see how that's a really good platform for sustainability of the branch, but it's also highlights ways to go about connecting with new members. But additionally, if you look at the Volunteers First program, that's the way to connect with your current members. And we all know that we get new members because they're friends of current members or somebody we met somewhere. And it always is good to know more about that person, because we're all guilty of this. We find a new member, they join, and we go, oh, great, thanks. Would you like to be in charge of the next fundraiser?
Yeah,
And we never
you give
ask
them too much to do too fast.
Yeah, no. And Volunteers First helps guide you on how to, reel them in, how to attract them to being a participant in the branch besides the book club. Everybody wants to join for book club or some other social event, but we need to help people understand how they personally connect to the mission. And that's what Peggy's program has identified. So
yes. And we're really to toot our horn a little bit. We are so excited that for 2025 we are a 5-star
Congratulations
branch.
to Monterey. That was
Long
fantastic.
Beach,
Long Beach.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Long
You're
Beach.
Long Beach. All right. Wonderful. Monterey
Yeah.
was one too. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're excited. So that helps with recruitment too, but you gotta then do the retention.
Yeah, exactly. Because you work so hard to get a new member. It's a shame when they leave after a month. You know, then you just it's like or a year, I'm sorry, or 2 years. You don't want to have wasted that. Plus it leaves a bad taste for people out in the community.
Yeah. Like
You
you
don't
said, it's about the mission, being sure they are really behind the mission.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, and
Thank
they
you.
Sharon, you had a
Mhm.
I was looking at the question that was in the chat about whether or not the fundraising guidelines addressed how to raise funds from corporations. And I do not see anything. I just went through all the fundraising guidelines. However, part of the financial development task force that I am in charge of actually this year, we are looking at ways to be able to get fundraising for AIUW California, and we might be able to help with ideas for fundraising with corporations. I do know that one of the branches told me that they get a substantial amount of money from one of their local banks, from the bank's marketing department to send girls to Tech Trek. So it doesn't necessarily have to be grant funding, but the marketing entity of that particular bank gives them money. So once my financial development task force zeroes in on what all we're doing, maybe we can help you with your other ideas. My particular branch does a lot of fundraising by getting grants from various foundations in our local area.
Yeah, that's a good
I
one
hope
is
that
the
helps.
fundraising aspect of this. Almost every branch wants to figure out how to do that because relying on just your members to support Tech Trek or scholarships, you know, you're just self-defeating. And you need the publicity, you need the visibility out in the community. And what better way than to go after some grants or money, sponsorship money from local businesses and entities.
And Nancy's question about grant writing, that's really key to a lot of that, being able to be a grant writer. And
most grant applications are online now, and so you have to plug in the information.
Yeah,
that they're asking
it's frustrating because like my branch went after a grant from the city of Laguna Beach and we were awarded the grant, but there wasn't a lot of room in there for me to write a narrative of all the things we did. It was like, yes, no, how many, very, very AI. Okay, we've got one new grant writing. Okay. Any other questions? Just raise your hand or start speaking.
I'd like to address the Debbie Hobbs question about recruiting more members into leadership positions. One of the things that we have done in our branch is to have co-chairs, and we rotate those. So one is like the primary, one is like the secondary, and they're usually in their positions for 2 years, and then the first person rotates off, and the second person who was learning the ropes, now takes that leadership position, and then another person is recruited, so that they're not overwhelmed with everything. We kind of ease them into that, or you have a committee to do things, and then you draw that primary chair out of that committee. So you ease them into it, and you don't freak them out. Like, yeah, you're in charge of the next fundraiser type of thing. So I don't know if that helps, Debbie, with your question.
Well, Nancy Turlock has a question. Where'd she go?
Grant writing guidelines.
Oh, okay.
I need to unmute. Sorry. I was going to comment on.
You raised your hand.
It was Nancy.
It was Nancy Turner from Turlock. I had raised my hand, but I've lowered it.
Okay, thanks.
I was going to comment on that what we have done in the Turlock branch is we do a branch survey at the end of every year and pass it out at our last big event. And there's a couple of things that we put on that says, I would be willing to help plan programs. I would be willing to help at membership events. I would be willing to sit at a voter registration table. I would be willing to staff a farmer's market table. I would be willing to help at a fundraiser, whatever it is. And then we also have a section on these are the top 3 programs that we want to have. And we give them a whole, like 10 different topics, and everybody marks it up. And then the program committee can use that survey the next year, and all of the other people that are in charge get a list at the beginning of the new board year. These are all of the people who were members last year that have agreed to help plan programs. These are all the members that will help with membership events. And we are only a branch of 50, and we have a 9-member program committee.
Wow.
Because people have said, yes, they'll help. And I'm just tickled. We are a 5-star branch for the first time. And we just had our membership brunch kickoff last Saturday. I got to announce at the event, we had 35 people there with members and guests. And we ended up with 7 new members at the end of our brunch.
Wow.
I was floored. We'd never had anything like that before, but
Very nice. Well
3 of
done.
our Tech Trek moms joined, and then 4 guests.
Good
So,
for you, Nancy.
Yeah.
but it's mostly how do you give them small jobs and not overwhelm them with big tasks? Do you want to help with the committee? Do you want to know about public policy? Do you want to, let us know? So, and some years it works better than others.
I would like
That's
We have a similar survey in Sacramento, and we have over 200 members. And then I create a database of what everybody said they were willing to do something with. But I've noticed more recently, a lot of people say they'll do something if it's short term. They don't want to make a year commitment. And so if I have something that's short term, I try to remember that. And we're going to try and work more on that one this year. The other thing is, like, the directories are going to be ready on Thursday. So they need to get the address labels on them and the sealing tabs on them, and then the postage. And it's just a round robin group thing. And I moved, but what I try to do is call newer members in my zip code to come help me instead of my old gang of friends.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
The same old gang says, oh yeah, I'll come do it. Yeah, but we got to get the new kids.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I would like to say that put a little pitch in for volunteers first, especially the first session when we have a good discussion on that, because we're going to talk about the natural motivators that drive members to engage. And, those of you who have had some real success, Volunteers First will help you understand exactly above and beyond the tasks that you're doing, that the other things that may be going on underneath that are making it successful. For instance, my guess is that many of you are really working on building relationships. And I suppose a lot of you are trying to work really hard to connect with those new members or the unengaged members so that you can kind of bring them into or back into the fold. And Volunteers First goes just a little deeper than the checklist of, gee, I need people to fill this out. It talks about how you can incorporate this when you do a survey, so you learn more about the person and what motivates them to volunteer for our cause. And that is a real tricky one, because sometimes people, I want to do this for AUW, but it's not really with in our purview. So this helps you to direct those energies right into what we're doing for the mission. But I encourage you to attend. I think you're going to find the first session just amazing. And we're going to have a lot to talk about because you're going to have a lot to share. And that is going to make this program really good. So that's my pitch.
I wanted to share a question that Glabe put in the chat box. Any suggestions on how to recruit Gen Z, Gen X, and millennials? And Charmin put an answer in here, which was great. Meetings in the evening. These are young working people. Happy hours, short-term projects. Get them involved in the mission. Most of our current members are not their social group. Social justice. People want to do something, especially in these times of uncertainty. They want to participate. They want to do something active. So create programs that are attracted to people who want to be engaged and involved in their community, and the things that are mission-based for AUW. It's a great idea. Thanks, Charmin. Okay, we have one more new one. Survey Monkey. Different branches use different tools. It just depends on what software you're using. Sharon?
I know that this has worked in some branches where people go out and attend all different kinds of meetings of chambers of commerce, city councils,
Right.
school boards, whatever, and are making sure that people know that you're part of AAUW. The other thing is ask your members if your members are members of other organizations where they might find fertile recruiting of younger members, especially. My branch picked up something that Morgan Hill branch does, and so we call it Wine and Wine. We get together once every other month or so. Don't necessarily even talk about much about social about AAUW, but they find out that we're fun, and so then they consider, okay, maybe this is a group that is of interest to me. And the primary way that people are working toward engagement now is social justice and advocacy. Our public policy newsletter has things in it every month that talk about what you can do in that regard, especially given what's going on in our current climate.
Right. Somebody asked the question, Donna Drew, when is the volunteers webinar? Okay, so October is going to be Donna Holmes doing the strategic plan and the 5-star program. November will be Peggy doing the part 1 of the how to roll out volunteers first in your branch. Many of you have attended the actual presentation last year of what is volunteers first. This year, we're going to talk about how do you do this and what are some of the best practices. So that first one will be in November, and we'll be sending some pre-workout. You never get to go to these things for nothing. So, and Becky, tell us about your 2-minute activist. How do you do that in your branch?
One of the things that we've committed ourselves to as a branch is to do something at every meeting. Instead of just coming and listening, we want people to do something. So we've talked about the 2-minute activist and to contact our legislators about an issue that is kind of on our minds or something that is in the news or whatever. Our particular branch is in a contested congressional district, so there's no want of people to call their congresswoman. So put it that way. But this is just one way we could do it, and we can do it through AAUW. It's super easy. I would invite you to check it out and just see, because it literally takes 2 minutes. So.
In regard to Hedda's question about SurveyMonkey and surveys, communications last year, Sandy Gabe did a presentation on developing a survey for your branch and how to do it and how to send it out. And it's under the communication peer groups.
Yeah.
On the website.
So if you'd missed any committees meetings, they're all out there. And it might not have been of interest to you at the time, but now you're like, so now how do I do a survey? Well, go back and look, because there's tons of information under communications, not just that. There's help on developing your website, developing your Facebook page, even how to set up a Google Drive so you can share documents with the rest of your branch. I'm sorry, what?
How to use Canva.
Canva, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of software tools that we have expertise in that we can share with you. So don't try and reinvent the wheel. Okay. Are there any other questions? Anybody? Great. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. This was great. When you sign off, you'll be directed to a little 10-question survey. So I hope you'll do that. And of course, this has been recorded and it'll be under the peer groups in a couple of days. And be sure to read the B2B. The Branch Development Committee and all the other committees have all the information about these webinars and peer group meetings. They're listed every month. So if you're looking for some information, read the B2B. It's just chock full of information. And a lot of people go, yeah, I'll read that later. And then it drops down in their email box and they never see it again.
Oh, Sigrid, the new state communication, the CC, California, comes out tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Watch for this.
Please give us some feedback.
Yes, goes to all members.
Yeah. Yep. And remember we had the California Connection that Dawn did for years and years. And so she's retired from that job and we decided to refresh this a bit. So watch for the California Compass and they'll have more information and highlights of all the work that AUW California does to support your branches.
And you can win a prize.
Oh, all right.
There's Easter eggs.
Yep. Now, see, you have to read it tomorrow to find out how to win the prize and what is the prize.
Sigrid, before we sign off, folks, we put a lot of stuff in the chat, a bunch of different websites. So don't panic. If you go up to the very top right in the chat box where it says Branch Development Peer Group Meeting, click on the 3 dots and you'll get a window and you can save the chat. And that way you can capture all of the questions and all of the links that we put in the chat. So you don't have to scramble and try to make sure you saved everything.
More technology tips. Thanks, Becky.
Yeah, so give everybody just an extra minute just to get to that and do it, because it drives me crazy when people sign off and they go, oh, there went my chat.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so now you know what to do. We'll give you 2 minutes to go up there and click on the 3 dots.
So how does it work on your phone?
That
And where do they go?
Somebody speaking over my dots. There's no dots in the upper right-hand corner.
in your phone version of this? Nah, do not know.
It should be where it says, if you have the chat open.
Yeah, you have to open the chat.
Development Peer Group Meeting at the top, and then you should see 3 dots.
Yep, and it says turn off notifications. That's all I get.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, sad.
That's not even one for me.
It said save chat.
Oh, see, somebody says it works.
Yeah, it worked for me. I just did it.
Yeah.
Android or Apple?
Oh.
Oh, you're on a phone.
PC.
Yeah, if somebody could email me the chat, that'd be awesome. It's Rhonda Reed, Salmon Lady at SBC Global, or just email it to everybody who came.
Yeah, I was going to say I can save the chat, All it does is goes to your downloads. So if you save the chat, it's going to automatically go to your downloads. So go to your downloads folder and you should be able to grab it from there.
And you can just use the magnifying glass search device on the website for whatever you need.
Yeah.
Just plug in what words you need to have answered and it will pop up. Trust me, the communications team spent hours doing that.
Much appreciated.
Hey, guys. Okay, you've all had time to experiment with the chat, and we hope to see you next month in October to hear from Donna, and we'll be sending out the invitations. Be sure to register and tell your friends and neighbors and fellow branch members to join us. They think it'll be enlightening because the 5-star branch in the strategic plan is for every person in the branch. It's not just for the leaders. You need the whole branch to make that work.
Remember, membership is everyone's responsibility.
Exactly. So, okay, everyone, thank you very much. Have a good
night.
evening.
Thank you.
And we're gonna,
Thanks, ladies. Great job.
thank you.
Thank you,
Good job.
Sherman.
See you
Feel
tomorrow.